What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. And today's build video is going to be an actual build that turns you into like God mode during this global event Golden Bullet. I am using this build and this weapon in a way that I've never used it before. And that's because of Title Update 14, but it's also because of this current global event, the Golden Bullet. Now, today's the last day until they reintroduce the global event to the game. So today's the last day you get to use it in this way for now. But I at least wanted to show you because I was getting so many questions during this weekend where people were watching my video that I was answering the call doing the Shepherd rank, and I was using this build, and a lot of people were like, "Yo, you're using the Chameleon?" And I was like, "Yeah, I truly hate this weapon. I think it's one of the worst weapons in the game. However, with the way Title Update 14 and this global event, I mean, it's just a match made in heaven for this weapon. It makes it shine in a way that I'm just dumbfounded. It's super strong. And even if you saw that video where I was answering the call, during that video, I was like, geez, man, this thing is strong. And it really is. It truly is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some gameplay. They are all heroic strongholds that I randomly match made with other people. And each time I left that mission completed with over 1 billion damage. In fact, I think it was like Roosevelt, and I was at 1.8 billion damage. That's with a B. Billion. This thing's stupid strong. Stupid strong. So without further ado, bring out your popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, enjoy the gameplay.
Agent received a golden bullet. Hostile assembling golden bullet. An agent needs assistance. Serious trauma detected. Agent out of action.
Got their leader and their stronghold. The outcasts are gonna be much less of a problem than before. You know, what happened to them was horrific. But what they did was even worse. I just hope they're finally at peace.
An agent is no longer in your group. assistance needed. Assembling a golden bullet. Received. Golden bullet. Golden bullet.
He's coming up on the...
Vital signs critical. Golden bullet refreshed. Serious trauma detected.
It's fucking on me!
Vital signs critical. Golden bullet active. Immediate medical assistance needed.
Wyvern, what's your status? Wyvern, come in. Wyvern! Fuck.
The antiviral cylinders are secure. We'll make sure they get safely extracted.
An agent needs assistance.
Sir, we've got enemy helicopters on approach. Should we knock them down? Negative. Hold your fire. We can't chance those cylinders getting destroyed.
Well, that's a bit of luck. Agent, you managed to secure the antivirals and shut down a key Black Tusk stronghold. Not to mention preventing a rocket attack on the base of operations. Incredible work, Agent. Truly.
Assembled by hostile. Received. Golden bullet. Hostile completed. The golden bullet.
Now.
Agent down. System curtailed. System disrupted. Serious trauma detected. System back online. System malfunctioning. System. Additional cold storage device.
This is Thunderbird. I'm making an attack on that hovercraft.
Negative, Thunderbird. Tear you to pieces.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Hostile completed. The golden bullet. System curtailed. System restored. System disrupted. System.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that gameplay. So without further ado, let's get into this God mode enabled Chameleon build. Now this is, in my eyes, the only way you should run this build. It's really not like an oddball build. If you're running the Chameleon and you're playing PvE, this should be the #1 way to run it. In fact, if you're not running it this way, I would question you. Because in my eyes, after doing all the different testing and checking out this weapon and how it works, this is the best way I can get it to work in PvE, especially during this global event. But remember, I'm not a fan of this weapon. So this is the first time I'm actually covering this weapon, and it's only because of this global event. I would not normally use this weapon. But the way that Striker is and having the memento stacks and getting the golden bullet, I mean, you're hitting for over 1 million per bullet and you have nearly 1100 RPMs. It is ridiculous how strong this build is. Like, if you just go back and rewatch that gameplay, I am basically clearing out entire rooms of strongholds just by myself within seconds. It is just truly amazing. Now, looking at the specialization, the only reason I am using this specialization is for the Banshee Pulse. This has been my go-to skill for months. I love this skill. I used to run the Jammer Pulse a lot, but then I realized that the Banshee Pulse is a lot of fun. You can confuse enemies, you can confuse players, you can confuse anything. It's a lot of fun to use. I really do like it. Now, using that with Golden Bullet and Striker, it's game over. So you Banshee Pulse them, you whip out your shield, you get your Striker stacks up, and then by the time their disorient status is off, you're already at max stacks and you're mowing them all down, if they're not already all dead. Now, with max memento stacks, I can get the Chameleon to 101.1k total damage. Now, right now, you can see it's sitting at 89.9k. However, with memento stacks, it goes up to 101.1, and that is without Striker, and that is without Golden Bullet. So this thing is already hitting pretty good with the memento stacks only. But then once you get Striker and Golden Bullet, this thing is ridiculously strong. Now, here's the Chameleon. It's going to be all based around this exotic. Again, this is my first build video using it because this is the first time I've actually used it. Striker just got fixed last week to where it's actually fun to use now. And I was told to try out the Chameleon during this global event, so here we are. Now, here is the exotic AR, Chameleon. Now, it comes with crit chance as that bottom attribute, but it's all about the talents. So, adaptive instincts is the talent. So, hitting 30 headshots will give you crit chance and crit damage. Hitting 75 body shots will give you weapon damage. And hitting 30 leg shots will give you reload speed. Now, for me, and if you watch the gameplay, I normally go for the headshots and the body shots. However, I never really thought about the leg shots, but as soon as I started doing that, it was really helping me get the other buffs quicker. So what was happening is I would go for body shots, headshots, and then that was it. I was just going to town. But then as soon as I started to realize how the Chameleon worked, you would go for the leg shots first, get that reload speed, because as soon as you get that reload speed, it's night and day difference. So you get the reload speed and then you go for the headshots and the body shots, and then you're good to go. Now that gives you 90% weapon damage. The Striker will give you amplified damage. The Memento will give you weapon damage. And the Golden Bullet global event will also give you weapon damage. So it's just a lot of different buffs that you have to put in place to make this weapon viable. And that's why I've never really used it until now, because you have to get all of these buffs active to make it useful in my eyes. Now, if it was just by itself at, 90k damage and, 1035 RPMs, I wouldn't really use it. Because just looking at that compared to, the FAMAS, let's see. The FAMAS does almost 10k more damage, and I can put damage to targets at a cover on it with in sync. I mean, I don't know. It's just, in my eyes, the Chameleon is not as strong. However, with Striker, with Memento, and with the Golden Bullet activated, this thing is ridiculously strong. I highly recommend everyone at least try it. Even if you don't like it, just try it once, put it together. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Now for my other weapons, I'm not really using them, so let's just skip that. I'm not even going to go into it. Now looking at the build itself, I decided to run 1 blue because with the memento, I get my 1.1 million armor, and that seems to do the trick. Have at least 1.1 million armor with this build because you are face tanking for the most part. You want to get your stacks up, you want to get your Chameleon stacks, you want to get your memento drops. Like, there's a lot of face tanking involved here, so having that 1.1 million armor does help out your survivability. Now looking at Striker. Now the gear set bonuses we get from this build. We get the weapon handling, 15%. We get the rate of fire, 15%. And then we get Striker's Gamble. So hits will amplify our total weapon damage. So that's 0.5 up to 50 stacks. So we're going to get 25% amplified damage just from getting the Striker stacks up. And that's not the problem with this build. The problem with this build is just getting all of the Chameleon stacks. So for the Striker, mask, max armor, max crit damage with a max crit damage mod. Now I am using the chest piece for Striker, so I do get 100 stacks. So instead of 25% amplified damage, I'm actually getting 50% amplified damage. Now for this one, max weapon damage and crit chance with a crit chance mod, and that's because I'm using an AR, so I want to try to spec more into crit chance, that way I'm more likely to crit. Going to the gloves, max weapon damage and crit damage. And knee pads, max weapon damage and crit damage. Now I wanted to get the base damage of the Chameleon up higher, because all of these things amplify your damage. So I wanted to get that base damage up as high as I can. That way when it amplifies, it boosts it up to its highest potential. You can do crit and do it that way, but for me, whenever it comes to raw damage versus crit damage, I mean, this has been an age-old debate ever since Division 1 days. And for me personally, I'm more of a multiplicative or raw damage fan. I do like crit builds, but I know for a fact that if you can get the base damage up higher, you're more likely to kill your enemy faster because you don't have to rely on crits, where if you run an all crit build, you do have to rely on those crits to actually hit. So, I don't know. That's just me. So, for that, I am running the Fenris holster. Fenris brand set bonus from this build gives me 10% AR damage. Now for this one, I'm at max weapon damage, max crit damage, and 5.5 crit chance. And then the last piece of the puzzle is the memento backpack. So the memento backpack gives you 3 core attributes. I get weapon damage, armor, and a skill tier. So that's how I'm able to have nearly 90k base damage on the Chameleon with 1.1 million armor. Now I also have that skill tier, which is good for my skills, but then I also have that max crit damage mod there as well. And then go down to the kill confirmed, you get short-term and long-term buffs every time you kill a person with the memento stacks. You have to pick up those trophies after you kill the enemy. Now with that being said, the short-term stacks go off of your base core attributes. So every time I pick up a trophy, I'll get 25% weapon damage, 20% base bonus armor, and 5% skill efficiency. Now, I'm not too worried about the short-term buffs. I want those long-term buffs. So the bottom part of this kill confirmed talent is for every trophy you get additionally, 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen for 5 minutes up to 30 stacks. So with that being said, if I have no armor regen on this build at all as it sits, when I get up to max stacks, I'm all of a sudden at 33,000 armor regen per second. At max stacks, I'm also at 101k base damage on my Chameleon. And at max stacks, I get 30% skill efficiency, which helps both my Banshee Pulse and my Crusader Shield health. So this just dramatically helps the build, especially in PvE. This is a crazy build for PvE during this Golden Bullet event. Now, let's finish up with these stats. So this is for the Chameleon. 89.9k weapon damage with 52 crit chance, 117 crit damage, 70 headshot damage. Go to the offensive tab. I'm at 85 all weapon damage bonus with 40% AR damage bonus. So every time I use the Chameleon, I'm at 125% damage bonus total. Now don't forget, I am using the Striker with the chest piece, so I do get 100 stacks from that. And I am also using the Memento backpack, so I get 30 stacks from that. Defensive tab, 1.1 million armor with 110k armor on kill and 336k health. My explosive resistance and hazard protection are both at 10%, and that is due to my watch level. So like I do in every single build video, here is my watch level for this build. I'm at 2,820. That means all of these attribute boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. So if you go and you copy and paste this build exactly how it is, and you are at or above shade level 1000, you should be able to get the exact same numbers and the exact same results. However, if you are not up to shade level 1000, some of these attribute boxes will be lower, and whenever you go to copy and paste the build, you might have lower stats in certain areas. Don't freak out. It's okay. This is still a really, really good build. So just make sure you get up to that shade level 1000. That way you can fully optimize the potential of your build. Because if not, you're always going to have room for improvement because you're not shade level 1000. It's not a mandatory requirement. It is a recommendation. And there you go. This is my Chameleon Striker build for the Golden Bullet global event. In my eyes, this is the only way to run it. You want that high base damage. You want the Memento stacks. You want the 100 Striker stacks. I mean, this thing has it all. I use the Banshee Pulse just because of personal preference. So if you want even more damage, you could go to the Firewall Specialization and switch out the shield for that Striker shield. But that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to make this build video as fast as possible, so don't forget, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.